470. You know that 470, it means you have 100%. So if you want to find 10%, you will cancel 1 0. So the answer, it will be 47, which is B. 6 equals 18, which equation had the same solution as the given equation? In this equation, we have 4x plus 6 equals 18. Let's just change 6 from the left hand side to the right hand side with opposite sign, or subtract 6 from both sides, so you have 4x equals 18 minus 6, which equals 12. So the answer is 4x minus equals 12, so the answer is C. The total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard costs of $25 a service fee and $10 per hour rental fee. So in this question, we have a total of 25. Okay, this is the service fee, and we have 10 per hour, so it will be 10t plus 25. This is the total cost. A person rents a surfboard for 40 hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard, which in quality represents this situation. So 10t plus 25 should be smaller than or equals 75. Because the maximum, he will spend maximum of $75. So the answer, it will be B. G defined by g of x equals x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x equals 25. So we have the function x squared plus 9 equals 25. So, and we want to find the value of x, means we will subtract 9 from both sides. So x squared equals 25 minus 9, which equals 16. And take the square root for both sides. So x equals the square root of 16, or radical 16 equals 4. So the answer is A. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number from 1 to 14, with a different number appearing on each face. If the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? So we have the total number of faces 14, write it in the denominator, and we have only one face with 2, so it will be 2 over 14, so the answer is B. A printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produces the posters? So we have 42 posters. This is in 1 minute. Now we want to find the total number of posters in 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. So just multiply 42 times 60 to find the final answer. 42 times 60. So the answer is 2520. By the equation f of x equals 7x plus 2, what is the value of f of x when x equals 4? So if f of x equals 4, so it will be f of 4 equals 7 times 4 plus 2. 7 times 4 equals 28. 28 plus 2 equals 30. So the answer is 30. Assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point and questions worth 3 points. Which equation represent the situation? The situation where x represents the number of 1 point questions and y represents the number of 3 point questions. So we have x, which is 1 point questions, 1x plus y times 3, which is 3y, equals the total number of points, which is 70. So it will be x plus 3y equals 70. So the answer is D. And P, Q, R are similar, where L and M are corresponding to point P and Q. respectively. Angle M has a measure of 53. What is the measure of angle Q? So M is corresponding to Q. Okay, so if the measure of M equals 53, it means that also measure of angle Q equals 53, so the answer is B. Negative 3x, 4x plus y equals 15. The solution to the given system of equations is x and y. What is the value of x? We have y equals negative 3x, so plug it in. So 4x minus 3x equals 15, so x equals 15. So the answer is C. The most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot. You know that in this scatter plot, or for any linear scatter plot, we have an equation which is y equals mx plus b. M, this is the slope, and b, this is the y-intercept. In this scatter plot, we have a negative slope, so we will cancel c and d because they have a positive slope. And also we have a positive y-intercept, so the answer it will be B. The graph of y equals f of x shown, where the function f is defined by f of x equals ax power 3 plus bx squared plus cx plus d, and b, a, b, and c and d are constants. For how many values of x does f of x equal 0? We have 3 values for f of x equals 0, so the answer is 3. Bought a party hat and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hat costs $3 and each cupcake costs $1. If Vivian bought 10 package of party hat, how many cupcakes did she buy? So the total cost is 71. She bought one party hat, so it will be 1B, okay, plus the cupcakes, which costs 3, so it will be 3C. Now she bought 3 packages of party hats, so multiply 3 times 10, so we have B plus 3 times 10, which is 30. This is equal 71. Subtract 30 from both sides, so B equals 71 minus 30, which equals 41, so the answer is 41. Z squared plus 10z minus 24 equals 0. What is one of the solutions to the given equation? So, you know, we have this is squared. We can make factoring, or you can use calculator mod 5-3, or you can use the general formula, but I prefer to use factoring because this is an easy question. So z squared, which equals z and z, 24, which is 2 times 10, 2 times 12, so it will be we have here a positive sign and this is negative, so z equals 2 or z equals negative 12. In a liquid growth medium, there were 300,000 cells per milliliter during an initial observation. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. How many cells per milliliter will there be 15 hours after the initial observation? So we have doubles every 3 hours, so this is an exponential function. So we can write it like f of x equals the initial number, which is 300,000, times doubles, so write down 2 raised to the power of x over 3. Okay, so it will be x the number of hours, so it will be 15 over 3, so it will be 300,000 times 2 raised to the power of 15 over 3, which equals 5. Can use calculator to find the final answer. It will be 300,000 times 2 raised to the power of 5. So the answer is D. Equivalent to 6x power 8y power 2 plus 12x squared y squared. In this question you will take 6 as a common factor from both terms, so 6. Then we have x power 8 and x power 2. Take the smallest one, the smaller one, so it will be x squared. And also take y squared as a common factor. Then divide 6 divided 2 equals 1. 6 divided 6 equals 1, sorry. X power 8 divided x power 2, which equals x power 6 as we subtract the powers. Y squared divided y squared equals 1, plus 12 divided 6 equals 2. X squared divided x squared equals 1, and y squared divided y squared equals 1. So the answer is 6x squared y squared times x power 6 plus 2, so the answer is C. A neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y equal to 3,934 represents this situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the x in this context? So we have 2x. It represents 2-hectare park, as we have 2 here and 2 here. This logic. So this will be the average number of trees per hectare in the park. So the answer is A. Relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of shares of stock from company B, Y, that Simon can purchase. Which equation could represent the relationship? As you know that if we have a line like that, its equation is y equals mx plus b, such that m the slope, which is rise over run, so it will be y equals 40 over 60 with negative sign, so it will be negative 40 over 60. You can cancel the 0 with 0 and divide it by 2 for both the numerator and the denominator, so it will be negative 2 over 3x plus the y-intercept, which equals 40. So it will be 2 over 3x plus y equals 40. Multiply both sides times 3. So it will be 2x plus 3y equals 120. Also we can multiply both sides times 4. So it will be 2 times 4, which equals 8x, plus 3 times 4, which equals 12y. 120 times 4, which equals 480, so the answer is B. A has a radius of 3n and circle B has a radius of 129n. Where n is a positive constant, the area of circle B is how many times the area of circle A. As you know that the area of the circle is pi r squared. This is for any circle, pi r squared. So to find the area of the first circle, which is 129n all squared, this is times pi, over the area of the second circle, which is 3n, so it will be 3 times n all squared times pi. You can cancel pi with pi and n squared with n squared, so it will be 129 squared over 3 squared. So using calculator, it will be 1849. So the answer is D. The frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in the data set. What is the maximum data value in the data set? So we have, this is the data set or the data values, and this is the frequency. The maximum number, it will be 14. Circle in the XY plan has a diameter with endpoints 2 and 4 and 2 and 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 all squared plus y minus 9 all squared equals the radius squared, where r is the positive constant. What is the value of r? So this is the equation of the circle, and this is the center 2 and 9, and this is the diameter. As you know that if we have a circle like that, any line segment join between any 2 points on the circle and passing through the center, this is a diameter. And you know that the radius is half the diameter. Okay, So if we have 2 and 4, 2 and 14, you can find this distance using the distance rule, which is y2 minus y1 all squared plus x2 minus x1 all squared. Okay, and this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and this is y2. But if we have the same x coordinate, we can find the distance by subtracting 14 minus 4. As you know that 14 minus 4, which is the diameter, which equals 10. So the radius length equals half 10. So it will be 5. The measure of angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians. The measure of angle T is 5 pi over 12 radians greater than the measure of angle R. What is the measure of angle T in degrees? I think it's better to change all the angles into degrees. So the first one, it will be 2 pi, which is 2 times 180 divided by 3. Equals 120. So the measure of the first angle is 120. The second one, it will be 5 times pi, which is 180 over 12. So it will be 75. Now we can read it again. The measure of angle R is 120 degrees, and the measure of angle T is 75 degrees greater than the measure of angle R. What is the measure of angle T? Just add 120 plus 75. It gives you 195 degrees. So the answer is C. A certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What are the area and the square yards of the town such that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards? First of all, you have the area in square miles, so you can find the side length. So it will be radical 4.36. As you know that the area, we have a square, so the area is side times side. How can we find the side length? It will be radical 4.36. Okay, so this is the side length. Now we can change it into yards, so it will be times 1,760. So this is the side length but with yard. So we can calculate it. Radical 4.36 times 1,760. This is the side length in yard. Now we can find the area. How can we find the area? You will multiply this side times itself. So times itself, it will be D. Question 24. For line H, the table show 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. Line K is the result of translating line H down 5 units. And the xy plane, what is the x-intercept of line K? How can we answer this type of questions? As we know that if we have a table like that, we can create the equation of the straight line, which is y equals mx plus b, such that m, this is the slope, and b, this is the y-intercept. How can we find the slope? As you know that we have a rule which is y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. So the slope equals, sorry for that, slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Choose any two values. This is x1 and this is y1. This is x2 and 160. This is y2. So the slope it will be 160 minus 130 over 23 minus 18. You can use the calculator to find the final answer. So 160 minus 130 over 23 minus 18. So the slope is 6. So the equation, we can write it as y equals 6x plus b. Now how can we find the value of b? Just put any value for x, which is like 18, and the corresponding value for y, which is 130. This is to find the y-intercept, or b. So 130 equals 6 times 18 plus b. It means b equals 130 minus 6 times 18. Now we can use the calculator again. 130 minus 6 times 18. It will be 22. So the equation of the straight line, it will be y equals 6x plus 22. This is the equation of the straight line which passing through the values in the table. Now we will go down for 5 units, so we'll subtract 22 minus 5. So the new equation, it will be y equals 6x plus 22 minus 5, which equals 17. So this is the equation of the new straight line. Now we want to find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, put y equals 0. Okay, this is to find the x-intercept. And if you want also to find the y-intercept, put x equals 0. Now when y equals 0, so it will be 0 equals 6x plus 17. So 6x equals negative 17. It means x equals negative 17 over 6. So the answer is what? The answer is D. X plus 3y equals 7 and 10x plus 15y equals 35 for each real number are which of the following points lies on the graph of each equation and the xy plan for the given system. So the question is asking about the point which is satisfy the two equations. This is the system of equations. Now we can use, we have a denominator for choice A 5 and denominator for choice B 2, and the third one is 3 and the fourth one is 2. So we can check, for example, B, because you have the first equation 2 and the 3, you will check B, you will cancel 2 and 2. Let's check B in the place of x and the place of y. So at the first equation, substitute with the value of x, which is 3r over 2 with a negative sign plus 7 over 2. So it will be 2 times negative 3r over 2 plus 7 over 2. This is for x, plus 3y, which is 3 times r. And the right side, it will be 7. We will check that. So it will be 2 times, write down the common denominator, which is 2, negative 3r plus 7 plus 3r. Now we can cancel. So we have negative 3r plus 7 plus 3r. Cancel negative 3r with positive 3r. So the answer is 7. So it satisfies the first equation, which will be 7. The second equation, which is 10 times x plus 15y equals 35. Just put x in the value with its value, which is negative 3r over 2 plus 7 over 2 plus 15 times y, which is r, and we check the right hand side equal 35 or not. First you will add the numerator, which is negative 3r plus 7, and you have 10 plus 15r. Simplify, divided 2 equals 1, divided 2 equals 5. So we have negative 15r plus 35 plus 15r. You can cancel negative 15r with positive 15r. So the answer is 35, which is the right hand side. Okay, so in this question the answer is B. I choose answer B at the beginning because we have the denominator which equals 2. We can simplify it with 2 and 10. And also we can add both fractions, which is negative 3r over 2 and 7 over 2. Diameter of an equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters. The height of this triangle is k radical 3 centimeters, where k is a constant. What is the value of k? As you know that the equilateral triangle, all sides are equal. So if you have an equilateral triangle like that, all sides for the equilateral triangle are equal, and the measure of each angle equals 60. So this is 60, this is 60, and the measure of this angle is 60. As you know that the sum of the measures of the interior angle of any triangle equals 180. Okay, so the perimeter of the triangle, it means that the sum of the side lengths equals 624. So if you want to find the length of each side, you will divide it 624 divided by 3. 624 over 3, this is equal 6 divided 3 equals 2. 24 divided 3 equals 8. So the length of each side 208. So this side is 208, also this one 208, and the third side is 208. Yes, the sum equals 624. The height of this triangle is k radical 3. You know that the height, the side which is drawn from the vertex to the opposite side with angle of measure 90. So the length of this side is k radical 3. How can we find the value of k? As you know that we have this triangle is 30-60 triangle, this one. And you know that if we have a 30-60 triangle, if this angle is 60 and this is 90 and this is 30, if the opposite side is x, so the hypotenuse is 2x, and the side which is opposite to the angle of measure 60, it will be x radical 3. So if you want to find this side, it will be 208 divided by 2, which is 104. So x is 104. So x radical 3, it will be 104 radical 3. This is the height, which is k radical 3. By comparing, we have k equals 104, so the answer is 104. The XY plan, the graph of the equation y equals negative x squared plus 9x minus 100 intersects the line y equals c at exactly 1 point. What is the value of c? How can we answer this type of questions? You know that this is a quadratic function with negative coefficient for x squared, so it will be downward like that. Okay, to intersect at 1 point, this here, to intersect with 1 point, so it will be intersect with the vertex like that. Okay, now we want to find the coordinates of the vertex. How can we find the coordinates of the vertex? As you know that the vertex equals negative b over 2a and f of negative b over 2a. Okay, we want to find the value of y, so we want to find f of negative b over 2a. So to find negative b over 2a, it will be negative 9 over 2 times the coefficient of x squared, which is negative 1, so it will be negative 2. So negative b over 2a, it will be negative 9 over negative 2, which is 9 over 2. Now we want to find f of 9 over 2. This is the answer. So it will be negative 9 over 2 whole squared plus 9 times 9 over 2 minus 100. Using calculator, so it will be negative, where is the bracket? Yes, this one, 9 over 2 squared plus 9 times 9 over 2. What's wrong? I repeat it again. negative 9 over 2, it will be negative 81 over 4 plus 9 times 9 over 2, which is 81 over 2, 81 over 2, minus 100. So the answer is negative 319 over 4, so the answer is C.